good job. One doing a good job in the classroom and studying and carrying up to the field. But I think the biggest caveat is that the guys that's being coached and being led by the veterans, they doing a good job of listening. And that's when you usually have a problem when the guys are trying to lead and trying to coach, and then the coach got to intervene because the guys are not listening. And so obviously they're doing the right things away from the building because the young guys are listening to them, and it's good to have.
With the younger guys listening, we've been seeing them shadowing some of the older coaches. How has that worked for you guys in terms of getting those freshmen and younger guys ingrained into the system, or ingrained into college?
Well, you know, that's the biggest thing with a young guy. Just man, that transition. You know, everything for them now is faster. You know, the game is faster, and we have to remember as a freshman, their whole life has been turned upside down, sleeping in a different bed, you know, eating in a different restaurant, away from home. And the biggest thing about that is those freshmen are being embraced by a veteran guy. You know, but it's really been good. You know, we had guys, you know, the younger guys that looking out the window in different body language with a big look in their eyes. And I think the biggest thing is that they see the older guys like a Simpson, like a Keontae, and they saying, okay, I want to be that guy. But those guys are doing a good job of being a big brother to them. And so that's making the freshman transition a lot easier. And K and Lee, he came in, you know, in January, so that's really helped him. You know, guys that want to have an opportunity to play, they come in early. Now, he's really not a true freshman right now because he's been there, done that, and seen it earlier. You know, and the biggest challenge for those guys is, you know, just digesting the playbook. Because, you know, in high school ball, man, go cover that guy. You go cover that guy. But now you got to play in a holistic scheme, and that's a little different for those guys. And as coaches, we have to remember that. You know, we have to remember that and do a good job of spending some one-on-one time with some of these players because they've learned different. Some learn in a big session, some learn one-on-one, and some gonna learn on the grass. So as coaches, we got to continue to study them and figure out, okay, you know, how does T. Scott learn? How does T. Love learn? You know, how does Ken Lee learn? And you know, Terrence Love will learn different. So we have to keep that in mind as coaches.
Kind of those guys who've come in after the spring, just who's really stuck out to you the most so far?
Well, you know, we have guys that's really doing a good job, and I want to just single out one guy, but one guy that's really surprised us in terms of how far he is, and we have to remember that he's really not a true freshman, is Chancellor Anthony. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's doing a good job, and you go like, whoa, I mean, you know, and he's kind of far ahead of the other freshmen. And you have to realize that, okay, yeah, he's really not a true freshman. He's been in JC for a year. But he's probably been the biggest surprise of the young guys so far. And then I tell you, J.C. Hart, you got to remember now his cup is empty. He hadn't lived that DB life a lot, but with that size and speed, man, he's catching on. And when he catch on, I promise you, he's going to be a household name. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have many Americans with that size that can run like that. So the biggest thing that I'm having to coach with that young man is just confidence. The more confident he get, the more his skill set and talent will show up.
Coming from a smaller school in Alabama, what are the biggest adjustments you have to make from that to the SEC for some of these guys like J.C. Hart, for example?
Well, just technique and fundamentals, and once he improves his technique and fundamentals, and you have those moments where he look at you, I got it moment, and then as a coach you say, okay, he's catching up. And so, for me as his coach, knowing his background and where he come from, I want a lot of I got it moments, and I want a lot of the smiles and and the lights going off, and we have to be careful to not get down on a guy like that, and. I have a tendency to grab a guy like that. Hey, come on, let's meet a little bit one-on-one. Because he has to understand that, hey, we're gonna develop you. You're gonna make some mistakes, but man, give me those I got it moments, and you'll be fine.
I know you didn't get a chance to get your hands on J.D. Rim much in the spring because of his injury. Guy who kind of contributed last year down the stretch. What do you see out of him? How can he help you guys?
Well, he's got good length. Rim is a smart kid, and we just got to continue to bring him along. Off of the leg. He's nursing a little injury right now, but he's gonna be fine. They all gonna get banged up. And all of them in training camp. The biggest thing, man, fight through a little bit of pain. He's not injured, just got a little bit of pain, and he just got to push through that. Right now I'm even hurting. I think my eyebrows hurt right now. So that's the nature of training camp. Have a little bit of pain, embrace it, and keep going. So, but he's gonna be fine. That's the nature of training camp.
Keontae described him as being really versatile. How does that sort of manifest itself for JD in terms of his skill set? What do you see?
Well, you know, you look at the room. There's a lot of guys that offer a position flexibility, and JD, he's one of them. I mean, you know, he can play inside and outside, and just keep in mind it's a new scheme for all of them. You know, so you know, learning Coach Robson's scheme. Some guys can learn faster than others. You know, so right now we're just gonna keep him in one spot and try to make him blossom out there on the edge, and to give us a shot on.
What are DJ's strengths as a corner? What are the things he really excels at?
Skill set. Man, he has a skill set. He can play some really sticky coverage outside. He's very fluid, can change directions. He's got exceptional ball skills. And he's also a young man that he can go from the meeting room to the field. He's got a strong football IQ. You know, so I mean, it's good to see him out there playing tight coverage because you know, offense giving us a lot to cover. They're doing some great job with formations. You know, this situation where they're throwing the ball down the field and just challenges. And I think DJ's doing a good job of stepping up to the challenge. You know, but his skill set alone, man, you don't have a lot of them that can change direction like him. You know, they can drive forward on the short ball, the intermediate ball, but at the same time possess the skill set to flip and go north and take away the deep ball. And so, I mean, he's got the skill set you look for in that position.
You mentioned the offense is throwing a lot at you. What have you thought of the wide receiver core? It's been a lot of different guys.
Man, I'm staying away from that, man. I don't post wide receivers on the show. You ain't gonna get me any fall in that test pool, brother. But no, I stay away from that, man. I'll tell you what they're doing. They're doing a good job of giving us different formations, giving us different stems, giving us a lot to coach. I mean, we're getting a lot to coach that things that we can prepare for now and don't have to wait until Saturday to see. But as a group, you know, I like that not staying status quo. We have things to coach, making our guys think and process pre-snap and process, you know, post-snap. So, I mean, that's really good to see that it's just not status quo. And, you know, we have our hands full with identifying the formation and at the same time trying to cover those guys when things move. But it's really stimulating our minds and making our guys, you know, process things as they move. So that's really been good. It's really been good.
Josh Aldridge talked about kind of the tempo in particular and having to practice against that, and almost it was something they kind of had to learn against that linebacker room in the spring, but now they've sort of caught up, and it's really been a huge help. Just how have you kind of seen the defensive backs and the secondary handle that tempo?
Play the next play, man. You know, it's really good to be able to teach them against the tempo in which, you know, our offense goes exceptionally fast. And again, another scenario, it's good to be seen in practice and not waiting until Saturday to see it. But that tempo is something that they have to get used to. They have to learn no leaks on the field. When that play is over, get your eyes back to the sideline, to the signal caller, because offense is at the line of scrimmage, and go play the next play. But it's been really good to have that tempo and to be able to go in there and coach up off of it. And the guys look at you and go, wow, that's fast. And see, yeah, you're getting game ready right now because, you know, Coach Freed's been known to go exceptionally fast. And having been with him before, I told him you can't simulate that speed that you're getting ready to see, but you got to get ready to go play the next play. It's going to help us on Saturdays because with the speed we're seeing now, it's a slowdown for the guys on game day.